feeling of being back on set for season 2, for me, it felt like we were coming back for sophomore year. I was wearing my old shoes. They have been worn to the ground. There's no arch support, and I felt like I was home.
Yeah, coming back for season 2, I totally thought we'd just like slip right in. It would feel like great. It's like we already got done with freshman year, but then there were like sophomore slips. Like day 1, I called lines I had 3 lines in that scene. I called like day 1 back on set.
Yeah, and Bailey and I were in that first scene together, and I remember I went up to her and I was like, Bailey, I just want to let you know that if you had to call line, I sure would have, because my line was right after yours and I had no idea what I was about to say.
Dude, I was like, that makes me feel so much better.
Hi, we're the cast of Outer Banks, and this is the top 5 wildest Poke moments from season 2. With having the fan base that has now been established, there was definitely a not just a need, but a want to kind of bring something special and unique. And so this season in particular, I think there's so much going on and it's so high stakes. And there was kind of a concern for us, like, how can you make the stakes even higher? And so when we kind of got all the scripts, I think collectively we can agree, we're like, oh, all right, well, this is insane. So for all of us, if we hold each other really accountable with the work. So whether it's doing a scene together or whatever the case may be, if somebody's not feeling it, or if you're working across from any of these guys, you're going to know whether or not, it doesn't feel truthful, or if it's not hitting its points and, finding the right moments. So I'm just glad that we're all very honest with each other in the work and outside of work as well, because it just makes everything more, I guess the truth in the work kind of seeps through. And I hope people see it this season.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Beautifully, eloquently put.
I think our first wildest Pogue moment is when the Pogues reunite. Just from there on out, shooting things back, like all back together, it did feel like a reunion in a way, because we were finally back in it. We were finally all back together, and it just, like, as fun as everything is, in the first 2.5, 3 episodes, it's just not the same without the Pogues. It's not the same when we're all not together. And all of the fun we have with the improv and the jig-jacking moments between the Pogues, you miss that. I did. And so from there on out, we were shooting together again. And so it did feel like this, oh my God, we're back. And those reactions did feel very genuine in that sense.
It was a very serendipitous moment, because not only was it the reunion of the Pogues, but the majority of Charleston had showed up too. So the entire battery was filled with people. The police department was called. It got crazy really fast.
Got rowdy.
They were watching.
It was fun. It was Pogue stuff.
Yeah, it was like, wow, okay, the city of Charleston has fully shown up to watch this happen. They have no idea what's going on, right? But they can kind of pick pieces apart and kind of make an assumption. It was just awesome. It's always awesome to have the 5 of us working together. And there's so much kind of, I don't know, there's a little magic spark that continually happens, regardless of it being an emotional scene, a comedic scene, a dramatic scene. There's always just something that happens that I feel like in my heart just finds its way to the surface. And so I just remember looking around wow, we're back at it.
Attempting to break John B out of it. It's got to be in the top 5 worst Pogue ideas
ever.
Okay.
Pogue Hall of Fame.
Pogue Hall of Fame. I did say that. I did say Pogue Hall of Fame there. I'm not going to say there's actual personal experience trying to do that, but I would say
a little too specific there.
But at the same time, doing that scene or working with Valerie, who was the director of that episode, Val just, like these guys said, we had the idea, and usually our first idea, we run with it, and Val just lets me do that. Val's also just like, what's your first idea, Rudy? I'm like, this is what I'm envisioning. She's like, do it, and then we'll tweak it later. And usually we don't need to tweak it, because she likes going that far with it. And that was a fun experience. I also had a great time. If you're going to be talking about the jail breaking out scene, working with Chase in that scene, and just rick-raffing back and forth. That's not a saying, I know, but like we're sitting down at the table and we just kept going back and forth. We had like this funny ad lib that didn't make it in the show about he was in a Bob the Builder suit. I wish it was in there. that was all Chase. That was all Chase. So it was wow.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was a good day.
The third craziest moment, for me at least, is just rationalizing like John B and Sarah hopping in an open top boat and being like, let's go back. And I'm just like, you know what? That right there is Pogue right there. And I want you guys, I think there should be a deleted scene. There should be a special featured scene.
I just want to know how long that ride is.
Yeah.
No. So the thing is, y'all, we got in an Uber from the Bahamas back to the outer, back to Charleston.
Yeah, it was an actual
Uber helicopter.
It was Uber. Yeah, they have Uber boat now.
And they dragged it all the way back.
Yeah.
It was a Canoober. You guys just went all the way back.
Canoober.
So for one of my top 5 wildest ride Pogue moments, how about when we tried to take over a shipping container? How about, full of pirates, and with the 4 of us were just like, yeah, we got this. Like adults with guns and and obvious like in-trapped advantage. Like we're just like, let's do it.
Pope tried to rationalize it a little bit. He's like, okay, yeah, this is decent odds. It's
that's how he's got it. He's got to explain it for himself like that, so he doesn't lose his mind. He's like, 15 to 5. Yeah, those are odds. Yeah. Shoot.
That's a statistic.
Yeah, that's a thing that can happen.
Into the container ship is definitely.
Yeah. First, step 1 was getting on the ship. So the Pogue moment starts there.
I didn't voluntarily jump off. I just fell off. That wasn't on me. That wasn't on me.
I wasn't.
And the last wildest Pogue moment from season 2 is, I gotta say, Rafe shooting Sarah, like a brother shooting his sister, feels like a pretty ridiculous moment. I think when we got the scripts, that was something that horrified me, to actually go through an experience like that where it's real. Like obviously you have somebody laying on a table like that, and sort of taking some of the personal side of our relationship and incorporating that into the work. So that was pretty raw and gut-wrenching, and it took me a little while to kind of bounce back from that. Like it wasn't a quick, easy transition back into normalcy. So I'm just glad it turned out okay. I'm pretty proud of that scene and where it ended up. So but it sucked. I was crying for 8 hours straight, I think, that day.
That was a tough day. Yeah.
Can I throw another one out there? I try to tell you guys in the show, but like John B, never go up against a gator. All right, like why do you have to stay in that water?
How did nobody bring that up?
You would have been got. You would have been got by Mama Gator.
Like a cat. I got 9 lives. Sarah's got 9 now.
I don't know. I would have been dead.
I mean, you kind of came in clutch with that night.
I mean, like apparently you'd have stabbed a gator in the eye.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
I've got good aim.
Wildest moment.
Thank God.
Rotisserie chicken style.
I would be dead.
It's that hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, just like Chase, you should have like let out like that was me.
Oh, you punctured my lung.
There was one moment though when we were in the water and I thought I had actually the knife was like a prop knife and it was made out of rubber. But there was one moment where I actually thought I had gotten Chase, and it was incredibly cold that day. It was not the kind of day you would want to stop a take in the middle of it. You just want to get done. And I stopped. I was like, wait, hold on. And he came back around because they had the gator on a rotisserie. And so Chase was coming up 50% of the time. And I thought I had gotten him. And so I stopped it. He came back around and I was like, are you good? And he's like, we cut?
We can do this for 14 days, honestly. We could just sit down and dissect moment by moment.
We can go through every episode and pull at least 3.
Go through the whole season and narrate it and be like, this was pretty crazy. I don't know if we would have survived that. That's also very crazy.